Did you know that Chase Elliott won this weekend? Apparently he did, but the Texas Calamity lived on.
High, push it, checker flag, hell yeah!
What's the caution for? Me?
Can they not push it in?
Stop anybody.
Come on, he's going! Way to go, boys! One hell of a job, man, one hell of a job. Thank you so much.
Happy Tax Day, everyone. Welcome on into Shifting Gears here on a Monday, April 15th, 2024. I be Alan Bailey, and I still be shaking my head at Texas being Texas. Y'all thought, yeah, this will be a better weekend than the short tracks, and it kind of was, but not for the reasons it should have been. So we're going to go ahead and talk about it. But before we get into Chase Elliott snapping that 42-race winless streak, make sure that you mash that subscribe button so that you do not miss a video. And like always, in between videos, you can go ahead and log on to arnrace.com for the latest motorsports news. ARN, the Motorsports Authority. Yeah, Chase Elliott won. I know. Just a few weeks ago, we were talking about how he's washed up. He's the new Terry Labonte, Casey Kane over at Hendrick Motorsports. He's struggling with the car, yada, yada, yada. And now he go ahead and he wins it. He wins it out at Texas in the Hooters car, which, by the way, first time since 1992 that Hooters has been to victory lane in the NASCAR Cup Series since Alan Kulwicki did it, the late Alan Kulwicki. And to honor that, congrats and kudos to Chase Elliott for remembering this. Elliott did the reverse victory lap, also known as the Polish victory lap. Why is it the Polish victory lap? It's because Alan Kulwicki himself was Polish, so people in the garage dubbed it the Polish victory lap. I thought it was pretty cool that he honored Alan Kulwicki that way. It's been 32 years since we've seen that car in victory lane, and yes, I was alive, and yes, I barely remember it, but I remember it, and that was pretty damn cool to see that again. But it was a day kind of mired with problems left and right and up and down because we did see 16 cautions, new track record. And this race wasn't good because, there was a lot of side-by-side racing. There was a lot of passing. This race was good because there was so many obstacles, literal obstacles on the racetrack with the bumps, with it just, for lack of a better word, being sketchy. Like, the track was sketchy. It didn't have that much grip. We were holding on all day. At least that's what we were doing on iRacing when we raced it over with Team Chaos. It was a struggle. It really was. It was like driving on a tightrope, and it was both challenging and fun, but at the same time, not so much, because the strategy overall that worked today was basically, don't push it too much. Just kind of walk that fine line and just kind of hold back. And that's not a whole lot of fun when it comes to racing. At least in my opinion, it's not a whole lot of fun. But let me know what you think in the comments. Was the Texas race good or not? And what should be done to Texas? I say go ahead and put 24 degrees of banking back in turns 1 and 2 and go ahead and just frankly repave it at this point, because you had Kyle Busch coming out saying, yes, there's less grip and less traction on this racetrack than if it were repaved. And if that's the case, well, then just repave it and fix all the bumps and everything. However, sincere question, sincere theory here, and let me know what you think. Should we leave the bumps? Like, if Texas is going to be that meh racetrack, and it is at the moment, to be honest, should we just leave the bumps and give it the characteristic? I'm kind of team characteristic because we're missing that. The thing that made Daytona cool before it was repaved is the fact that it was so damn bumpy that it added that extra element of make sure that your car's good, make sure that you can hold that bottom line. But there was also a bunch of cool things that happened out at Texas this weekend. Whenever Denny Hamlin crashes, apparently you guys love it, and it's just gold. And we saw that. We saw Denny Hamlin, frankly, having issues. Who knew we would see him spin out all on his own? And I love that Hamlin got out of the car and made it about like, I wish we could have fought him. I wish we were there at the end. Bro, you were. You were right there at the end. But guess what? You goofed. You ran out of talent. You spun out all by yourself trying to chase down Chase Elliott. I mean, I didn't do that to Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin didn't have a flat tire or his pit crew or his team or anything. Hamlin choked in the moment. Where have we seen this before? The choker. I'm going to seriously start calling him the choker because that's what he is. He's the guy who gets into those high-pressure situations and can't hold it together, lets the pressure come to him. He did that with Jimmy Johnson years ago, and now he's coming up with new excuses and new reasons for him not being a serious contender for the championship. It's Denny Hamlin 101. Way to go, Choker. Couple of teams that had up and down days. You had 23-11 coming home both with top 10 finishes, really respectable for them. However, they kind of lived up to their expectations of having issues on pit road, having issues executing the race. It's been kind of Tyler Rennick and the 45 team's MO for the last 2 years, and that is screwing things up on pit road and screwing up a pit strategy and screwing up a race strategy. But they still come home with top 10 finishes. Trackhouse was in that same boat until the whole Ross Chastain, William Byron thing, and Byron came out and was remorseful. I don't think that Byron is that guy that races like that, nor do I think that this was intentional by any stretch. I just think that he got loose and was too close to Ross when he did, and that led to that last lap crash, unfortunately, and the race ending under caution. But Trackhouse would have had a couple of top 10s if Ross would have stayed up there. At worst, he would have finished third. So that's kind of a good day gone bad for Trackhouse. But Suarez still managing a top 10 is pretty damn cool. RCR, though, how did they get up there? They finished 8th and 9th. That blew me away. Austin Dillon with a top 10? It's been a minute. It's been a hot damn minute since we've seen that, but he managed, so congrats to them, especially after Kyle Busch having the issues Saturday. I mean, I was blown away by that one, to be honest. Like, I know they've had good runs here in the past. Austin Dillon's won here at this track in the past, but still, How? Also, the thing we're going to keep an eye on this season, the rest of the season, I should say, is Stewart-Haas Racing, because it is very evident they're selling at least one of those charters, if not two of those charters. It's for sure happening. The team cannot come out and say that, but I'm hearing that multiple teams are negotiating with Stewart-Haas for at least one of those charters. So, which one of the 4 drivers is out at the end of 2024? If I'm one of those drivers, I'm treating every single race weekend like an audition, and I need to beat hopefully all 3 of my other teammates, if not at least 1 or 2 of them, because at least one driver is out at the end of 2024, if not 2. And you had the 14 of Chase Briscoe coming home 6th. You had the 41 coming home 12th. You had the 10 car finishing 18th. And the 4 car had some issues on the racetrack and didn't do so well, let's just say. So really good run for Chase Briscoe. He is for sure in a contract year, and he has the option of not returning. Same with the 41 and the 10 car. These are the 3 likely candidates for losing a ride. The 4 car, supposedly Josh Berry signed a multi-year deal. We'll have to wait and see. Supposedly, it is a 1-year deal with the 10 car Noah Gragson and an option of coming back next year. Same with the 14 and Chase Briscoe with a 1-year deal, or with his deal having an option to let him go at the end of this year. And the 41 of Ryan Preece is on a year-to-year contract in that 41. He's more than likely out, but do we see 1 or 2 drivers be out at Stewart-Haas Racing at the end of the year? We'll have to wait and see. Also, Hendrick Motorsports setting a new NASCAR Cup Series record, the fastest 4-tire pit stop, the new record officially 8.49 seconds. That is extraordinarily impressive, sincerely. Like, wow. I didn't think we would see times get that low, and I think they could get lower years from now once these teams really develop their technique. But the athleticism from these pit crews cannot be understated. Like, this is a sport, the sport within the sport, and sincerely, Hendrick Motorsports just set a very high bar. And yes, looking at the other series that raced out in Texas this weekend, you had Kyle Busch doing Kyle Busch things in the Truck Series and winning in another Kyle Busch. And I was getting heavy flashbacks to him in 15 with that kind of neon green suit. I was getting big flashbacks, and I heard a rumor on Friday night that really made me go, what the hell? Kyle Busch to Spire Motorsports if RCR can't get it together? What? No. I'm going to squash that rumor right now. I do not see that happening. What the hell are you thinking? Yes, RCR can't get it together. That's been kind of the MO since the 90s, honestly, over at RCR. No matter who they have in charge, no matter how they shuffle their people around, this is kind of RCR. They're doing the best they can, and they're a mid-pack field, / we're barely going to make the postseason and go out round 1, maybe round 2. That's just who they are. And Kyle Busch was looking for a place after, frankly, Gibbs didn't want to find the money for him. And this is where he ended up, and I think this is where he's going to spend the twilight of his careers. No, I do not think he's going to win another championship. Maybe he's got another 10 or so victories in him. Maybe, if RCR can figure it out, do I see Kyle Busch going to another race team and ending his years somewhere else? Potentially, depending on what happens over at RCR over the course of the next 5 years or so, maybe, but I don't know. This is going to be a watch and wait kind of thing. Maybe Spire steps it up in the next 2, 3, 5 years. I don't know, but they have a lot of growing to do. Kyle Busch is at a team that doesn't really have the capabilities to give him what he needs, and that is something Kyle Busch fans need to recognize and realize, that the old Kyle effing Busch is probably gone. And yes, we are going to talk about Sam Mayer's amazing photo finish victory at Texas in the Xfinity race on the Pit Pass, coming out this Wednesday here on the channel. Make sure that you mash that subscribe button so that you do not miss that, because it's going to be a really fun talk. Yes, we're going to talk about the best finish that we saw at Texas in another video. So calm down. It's coming. Don't scream at me in the comments, "You didn't talk about it." Just did. Calm down. It's coming out. Now on to my favorite part of the program, where we go ahead and take a look at the mailbag in the comments down below for your hot takes. We'll go ahead and start with this. The fans of NASCAR don't care what the color of a person's skin is. They care about the attitude and talent level of the driver, and Bubba has a really bad attitude, and his on-track antics are dangerous. There's no reason to flip the bird at a NASCAR event. It's supposed to be family-friendly. This is why we don't like him, period. No one talked about Bubba Wallace in that video where that comment was left. What? Like, what? Like, I mean, clearly it's about skin color, because you have a burning hatred of Bubba Wallace there, and you're judging him differently than other drivers, like Kyle Busch, for instance. So maybe it is about his skin color a little bit, bud. I'm just saying, check yourself. Fox really needs to improve their coverage. I really don't want IndyCar to go to Fox and have cartoon drivers, extreme close-up shots consistently, and missing important parts of the race. They do a great job with NHRA, nothing else racing-wise. You're preaching to the choir. And how hard is it to produce an NHRA race? It's literally a not quarter mile anymore, but let's just say quarter mile racetrack, just for argument's sake. And there's only 2 cars on the racetrack at once for roughly 3 to 5 seconds. How hard is it to miss that? Not very. There's very little happening compared to a big track that's 2.5 miles long that has 40 plus drivers on it. I'm just saying, it's significantly easier to produce an NHRA broadcast than it is a NASCAR or an IndyCar race. And you're right. You're absolutely right with your take. I'm not even going to dispute you on that. Kudos to you on a good take. I'm team who gives a shit. Well, I mean, clearly you do. Thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting. Appreciate you, bud. I love hypocrisy so much. I mean, like, it's just wonderful. But you can go ahead and leave your hot takes in the comments down below. Anything in the world of motorsports or NASCAR, leave it in the comments down below. And while you're there, mash that subscribe button so that you come back for future episodes. And of course, in between episodes, you can go ahead and log on to arnrace.com for the latest motorsports news. ARN, the Motorsports Authority. I am heading out to Long Beach this weekend. I am very excited about it. I both love this race every single year and dread this race every single year. I have Vietnam-type flashbacks to the year that I had heat stroke and almost had a seizure at an islands, at a bar. No alcohol was not involved. I wish it was involved. It was the heat and lack of fluids going into my body that was involved. But it's okay, because we're going to have better times this weekend out there for the IndyCar race. Very excited for that. Going to also be making some announcements about my 2024 track announcement plans. Yeah, I'm very excited about this, and the announcement could be coming this week, I'm just saying. But for now, for Shifting Gears, I'm Alan Bailey. We'll see you at the track.